Good morning everybody, and welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve, a small piece of paradise on the western fringes of the 8 million acre, 3.5 million hectare wilderness wonderland that is the Greater Limpopo Trans-Frontier Park. To the far north of us, Gonarezhou in Zimbabwe. To the far east, the Limpopo National Park of Mozambique. And obviously we sit on the western fringes of the iconic Kruger National Park in South Africa. Recently voted the most beautiful country in the world, probably mostly by South Africans. But still, we believe that to be true. Now, my name is James Hendry. You are with Wild Earth. You are on a live safari. On camera we have Andrew, who has got a buff around his mouth, a strange hat which he found in the bush on his head, and various other strange bits of clothing on him. Andrew, say hello.
Hello.
There we go. He is back on camera. He was the drone commander during the want to talk to us. You're welcome to ask us any questions you like about the shows that we've done, or about the animals that we are hopefully going to see. It's a cloudy day, which is most relieving after the volcanic heat we experienced yesterday, and I think it's probably sitting at about say 18 degrees Celsius, which probably is about 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit if my mathematics is correct. And so that's the status of things now. On the other vehicle we have Brent, and he is being filmed by the Brian. Of course, he's on Jigger, the other vehicle, and the two of them are both giraffe sized, so Jigger will be struggling today. In the final control, all on her own, is Tara Dales. Poor lass, there's a big staff changeover today, and Tara is manning the fort alone. Okay, here we go. My plan today is to head on to Arathusa, and thank you to all of you who have provided updates that there was a male lion going northeast from there yesterday evening. We're going to try and see if we can find him. We'll get an update on
It's at the rubbish dump, Sydney's dam. But on our side, it looks like Tsalala pride and about 9 hyenas.
There's more on the road there. More lions.
Yeah. Go get it! There's more lions there. What a great way to get back on the vehicle. We've got like 12 hyenas around us, and they're busy harassing the Tsalala pride. I can actually see more lions off to the right of me. What an exciting way to start the sunrise safari. My name is Brent Leo Smith. I've got Brian Djuma on camera, and we've got James and Andrew on their way here right now. James. James, make your way. I'm the only vehicle here. Stations, we have about 12 hyenas, and at the moment what I can see, 1, 2, 3, about 8 lions at Sydney's dam on the WildEarthTV side. Look at this! Sorry guys, I've just got to be on the radio. Negative, it looks to be Tsalala pride. There's a tailless lioness here. Not that I can see at the moment. The hyenas are just harassing them. Across here, there's a whole bunch of other lions. It's not the Birminghams, but I'm not sure which lions those are. So there's another 3 lions over there, or 4. I'm not sure who they are. Isn't this really, really exciting? And then, literally right next to me here, there's this, we can't even see him, he's so close. There's a hyena sleeping right here. But we're going to move a little bit. These hyenas look like they're going to push forward towards those lionesses and young male lions. Oh, ooh. See that? One stern look from that lion sent the hyenas backing away. And then if I... hyenas, they're busy working themselves up. Look at their tails up. It's a sure sign of excitement. There's another hyena coming in. There we go, you can see in the distance someone else has arrived, tails up. The one who was sleeping next to the car is looks like they're gonna go greet. And just judging from their reaction, it means it must be quite a high ranking individual. But we're gonna move forward towards the lions and let's see if these hyenas decide to harass these lions a bit more. It's possible there could be a killer. So they're heading up towards those lions. We're not sure who they are, but James is with those lions there. Really, really fascinating. And I mean, this just proves we never really know what's going on. So we've got 4 young males, that young lioness walking up the road, 2 adult females that I can see, and James is with at least 3 other lions who we have no idea who they are.
I've never seen this pride. Hello everyone, what a spectacular morning. Well done Brent Leo Smith, you can see him just in the background there possibly. Lions walking towards us, they've killed a buffalo and I've never seen them before. Look at this, we've got 3 lionesses off to, they're actually running. The 3 lionesses next to me are running off into the bush. They've obviously got a fright from these guys here. Andrew, I don't know where they've gone, they've nipped around the corner there. And these 3 are obviously from a different pride. There's the lioness there, following up on the other 2. She's now
she's trying to get the other hyenas G'd up, worked up. They're coming in, the hyenas are coming in. Sorry guys, I just got to get hold of Tax, who's just started to drive. Taxon. Went across to James, who's with those other lions, and that are contact calling. But if these hyenas come in closer, we'll be right back here.
Hi everyone, back to us. That lioness there is contact calling for the 3 that ran away. I can't see where they've gone. I think they may have crossed this road. They're obviously nervous of something. I'm very confused as to what's going on because I don't know these lions. It's all rather magnificent to be viewing here in the morning. I can't actually move the vehicle at the moment because you will lose signal and that obviously won't be very good. So let's just see what this lioness does. We'll see if she calls again and then we'll go back to Brent and I'll head around that way. There, you can see that. I'm not sure if you can hear it. They've just gone, ooh, ooh. That's what it sounds like. Well, she's calling the other 3. I don't know why they ran away. They definitely had lots of blood on their face, so they've obviously been feeding with her. I think we're going to follow her. I'm going to cut back to Brent if we can, because we're going to move and we're going to lose our signal.
You can see the hyenas getting closer and closer. There's 2, the other lioness has now moved closer to the carcass just to keep the hyenas honest. We've got the tailless lioness who's feeding off this buffalo carcass at the moment. And as far as I know, the loss of her tail was from hyenas. So she probably has a distinct dislike for hyenas, probably more so than a lion normally would. But I'm going to try to count how many hyenas I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there we go. The hyenas are running. I don't know if they're being chased by, I think they got chased by the other lions that we can't see, or they just got a fright and they're being a bit nervous. But a lion asked, would hyenas? And that's what caused the hyenas to move off. And it could be the fact that the hyenas came so much closer now that the lions have started moving their way back towards the carcass. And I'm not sure. I thought it was the Birminghams, and obviously I'll have a chat with James now. But I've only ever seen 2 lionesses and 4 young males with the Tsalalas, but they're definitely, sorry, 3 young males, but they're definitely 4 young males. And 2 adult lionesses, 1 sub-adult lioness. And I'm not sure what those lions were with James, but I'll have a chat to him now when he gets a bit closer. Here we go, here comes one of the young males. And you can see how fat his belly is. He's glutted. Andreen and lots of people on Twitter seem to be on the same wavelength with me. Look how big his tummy is. He has definitely eaten as much as possible. And here comes the next young male, and he is even fatter, if that is possible. Look at the size of that belly. Oh, might get a little bit of... Oh, we can hear the growling. Look how the female's ears are back. Just hear those hyenas lowing in the background. We're going to cross across to James, who's got some very interesting behavior with hyenas.
Hi everybody, welcome. The hyenas here are just actually eating the world's most disgusting substance, and that is lion dung. It smells something vicious. We've just watched a young male lion deposited over there in a runny sludge, and the hyenas have come in and they're eating it, and they were urinating on it as well. And I suspect it's kind of like a territorial dispute thing. This hyena here is standing not more than 5 meters from us, and now I'll just put my hands back in the car there. She goes past, definitely planning some kind of an attack. But the lions came past this area, they all went to the loo in the same place, scraped their feet. They're obviously a bit angry, and one of those young males was growling quite loudly, and then he made his deposit, which has actually quite mercifully been eaten by the hyena, because, as I say, there is nothing in the world that smells worse than lion dung. So there they are. You can see the lion and the hyena now in picture. Hyena walking down the road towards a young male. And please, if anybody in the audience knows who these lions are, I would love to hear from you, because I'm really deeply confused. Now apparently there is some conjecture that this might be the Tsalala pride, and that would be very exciting to me. I must say, I haven't seen them or their offspring for a very long time. We used to know them at Londolozi, both Brent and I, and if this is them, that'll be fascinating. The thing to look out for them, of course, is the tailless female. Belly on that. I'm going to actually, sorry Andrew, I'm going to go around here. You say that the Tsalalas are 3 adult lionesses, 7 adult males, and 1. Well done.
Welcome back, guys. These lions have chosen possibly one of the worst signal areas for us, but between the 2 vehicles you'll be able to stay with us. And isn't this incredible? You can see James moving around with the hyenas in the background, and there he is. And there are so many hyenas around, but I think there's just too many lions for them to make a full-on attack. These young males is what's keeping these hyenas at bay. There's 4 of them that I can see. Taxon and the guests from Djuma have just arrived as well. And I mean, if we look to just behind the carcass, so the hyena is using the bush as a little bit of a safety net, so much closer than the other hyenas. You can just see the spots through there. Well, when it moves. It should move. There we go. There's the hyena. And speaking of hyenas, we're going to cross to James, who can show you a good shot of them.
Hello everyone, signal is back mercifully, and you can see lots of hyena now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in picture so far, and I think there are probably more. They're now moving towards the carcass where the inimitable Brent Leo Smith is sitting with the rest of the lions. And I'm sure they're planning something, but what is interesting here is that there are probably not enough of them to chase these lions off. You normally need a ratio of about 3 hyenas to 1 lioness for the balance to be tipped in the hyena's favor, and with young males like this, you're probably looking at 4 hyenas per lion if they're going to mount a successful attack. And so they'll hang around here. We've probably got 6 lions here, at least 6 or 7 lions, and about the same, well, maybe up to 10 hyenas, I think. I keep spotting new ones dotted about in the bush. And so I think you'll find that the hyenas are probably just a little bit under-resourced in terms of foot soldiers today. But let's see what happens. These lions will be less and less inclined to defend the kill the fatter that they become. And you can certainly see that they are breathing very heavily, and that's because they have gorged themselves on buffalo flesh during the night. Hugely exciting. I'm so glad to have seen some lions. It's been a long time since I've had a decent lion sighting on Djuma. And especially to have them interacting like this with the hyena. I'm sorry, Jenny, to make you gag with my description of what the hyenas were eating, but I have to tell you, when I witnessed that, I was almost sick myself. The hyenas clearly do not have the same sense of taste that you and I do. They're obviously, yes, well, like I say, lion dung is not something you want to have smelling around your home. 1, 2, 3, I can slaughter. Andrea, are we on to more than 7? 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are at least 8 hyenas here now. But you can see they're all lying down, and I think what they do is they do sort of rile each other up. They start to kind of call. You may be able to pick them up every so often going paw, and sort of like a growl and a contact call at the same time. And what that does is they rile each other up a bit, and then they might mount an attack. But I think there are just too many lions here. And this is probably the clan that we see. Oh, there's another one there, way in the distance. Can you see it there, Andrew? Mm-hmm. Across to the water, so that's 9. And the noise of them calling will definitely attract others. But I'm not convinced that this clan that we see around here is very big. I think they're quite a small clan. And the calling might in fact attract hyenas from another clan, and then not only will we have a lion and hyena fight, we'll also have an inter-clan fight between the hyenas. They're very territorial, and they won't tolerate other clans in the area. They'll definitely have a fight. Fascinating. This really is spectacular, and you can see them just moving slowly closer, slowly closer, slowly closer, trying to sort of encourage each other and gee each other up. Okay, let's go and have a look at the hyenas coming towards the carcass with Brent, and I'll reposition slightly. Marvelous sighting.
Welcome back, everyone. Isn't this absolutely fantastic? Such interesting behavior. And James was saying, if there's another clan of hyenas close by and they hear this vocalization, there is a very good chance of a clan war. However, I think where these hyenas are now is right in the center, or part of the center of their territory. The den is probably less than 800 meters from here, and you probably find that's why we've got such a strong response. I know James counted 9 hyenas. I counted 12 a little bit earlier, so there are a few hyenas around, and generally with hyenas where are they off to? Are they deciding it's not worth it, or they're going to call some more reinforcements? And we see, if we come back towards the carcass, we can see how fat. Look at this little guy now. He is literally obese with the amount of meat he has imbibed. And Virginia in Kentucky is being very, very observant. I mean, this is not the world's biggest buffalo, and all these lines are very full. And she's wondering if this is a second kill. Virginia, you are spot on. I heard that yesterday that they had a buffalo kill in Sibambili, which is to the west of us. So the Tsalala pride seem to be buffalo machines. They seem to be dropping them all over the place. And you know what? Buffalo is not only good for eating, it looks like it's quite a reasonable pillow as well. I mean, the lions are going to be very, very happy. There's water very close by, so they won't have to move too far for a drink. And it's probably going to stay around this area for today at least. But one of the things about hyenas is that they're so patient. So not even, there we go, not even 30 meters from those lions, there's a nice big female hyena who's being very patient. And there are quite a few hyenas, and this is where hyenas are such successful predators. They are so patient. They might not get in now, but they might get in once the lions decide to abandon this carcass, or if the lions go for a drink at the wrong time. Oh, someone else is coming to join. Looks like a young female. There she is. You can hear that other female growling. So, oh, you can hear the hyenas in the distance. Went across to James very quickly. He's with those hyenas that are making that noise.
Tara, have you got a picture? Very nice hyena here. I can try and reposition if you don't have a picture. Hello everyone. Big action with the hyena clan. They've come into an open area just to the north of our boundary, and they were making a big noise. They seem to have come across a sub-adult, and they gave a sort of greeting, which in this case is a lot of genital licking, which, especially given what they've just eaten, is particularly distasteful. But they are definitely regrouping. They're trying to G each other up, and they're looking nervously around the place. And I wonder if there isn't a hyena from a different clan here somewhere. They were making some loud calling noises, whooping, yelling at each other, and I don't know why they're doing that. Now, I'm not going to move the vehicle because there's a warning signal here, so we just watch what unfolds at the moment. You can see that one there looking off towards the water. There's a huge greeting ceremony here, and you can see the tails when Andrew gets back them here. Oh, sorry, Andrew. There's what she was looking at. There's another hyena coming up here. There we go. You can see just behind the aerial. There we go. Now, an interesting question from Anna Marie about the clans, and it dovetails very neatly into our discussion of the clans and, you know, why there are perhaps not more hyenas here. Anna Marie, you say you guess these are probably from the same clan that stole Shadow's kill yesterday. I would say that where Shadow killed yesterday, and you had that incredible sighting with Peter of two or three hyenas stealing a freshly killed impala. Anna-Marie, I'd say that they're right on the territorial border there between the two clans. I know that they've had sightings of up to 16 or 17 hyenas just to the west of there, so just west in Arathusa and into Elephant Plains, and I wonder if they aren't from a different clan of hyenas. It's possible that they're from the same one, but I think that our clan boundary is pretty much around about the Arathusa airstrip, so I think possible from this clan, but possibly from a different clan. I don't know what's going on here. There's definitely seems to be some discipline issues. There'll be an element of play here, but that youngster is running away from the adult. Well spotted, Andrew. Here they come again. Gee whiz. Look at that. That's wonderful to see. Beautiful to see. Here come a whole lot more. There are a whole lot more coming up here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in this area. We left 2 back there, and I think Brent said that he had seen 12. So perhaps that's all that we have here. 2 of them are definitely sub-adults, and so I don't think that there are enough of them to chase off those lions. This is just playing. Of course, this playing does reinforce any kind of dominance hierarchy that there does exist in the clan. It's very important to clan social structure, but there is definitely an element of play going on here. Those are definitely 2 younger ones. Now, they're definitely nervous about something coming out of the north. So, just a very good question from Anna-Marie there about the clan boundaries and that sort of thing. And like I was saying, 18 hyenas at least have been seen. I think it was actually 30 at one stage on the kill at Simbambili a little while back. And I think this is our little clan. They've got those dens that we've been watching over the last months. And I don't think that it's a very big clan, but we're right near to where the last den was. Right, well, I think we'll probably try and reposition here. Like I say, our signal isn't fantastic. Let's see, we'll stay here with these hyenas for the next little while, and while we do that, let's pop across to Brent and look at the lions before they go to sleep, because inevitably, after their enormous meal, with the heat that will no doubt build today, those lions will go to fast asleep. So we'll head back to Brent, and I will see you just now.
We've got that tailless lioness feeding on the remnants of this buffalo calf. She's the only one still feeding, and as I know James says, the lions will more than likely go to sleep soon. Well, you can see that heavy belly behind her is one sleeping lion, and we have that young male using a piece of the carcass as a pillow, and to the left the rest of the lions are sleeping and spread across towards the road. So the last time that we saw this particular pride of lions was with Jamie a while ago, and Jean saying, well, they look very hungry and possibly injured, and can I see any possible signs of injury at the moment? Jean, I can't, but one must remember lions have an incredible knack of recovering from what we would consider a very bad injury very quickly, and they have the constitution of a brick, I have to be honest, and what injuries, muscles, etc., they heal very quickly in these animals. So I can't see any visible signs of injury at the moment, but you can see they're definitely not hungry anymore. her panting. Full belly. So as we can see there's a horn in front of that lioness's face, and Rena and Ashley are having a discussion on whether a lion would eat the horns of this buffalo, and they would not. So basically what the horn is keratin. It's the same as your fingernails or your hair, and they're unable to digest it. It would also be quite difficult for them to chew through, obviously very, very hard, even in a young buffalo like this. So no, they wouldn't eat the horns. I mean, occasionally with leopard and lion, when you see them with smaller prey, they occasionally will swallow the horns, but it'll pass straight through and it's undigested. So there's no mammals who are able to digest keratin, and the only animal that is able to digest those horns is a creature called a horn moth, and a horn moth is a type of fish moth that I'm sure lots of you at home battle with to keep out from making holes in your clothes. So the same species of moth that can make holes in your clothes can also eat the horns of a buffalo. So it's a species of fish moth called a horn moth, and quite often there's no difference between the ones that eat your clothes and the ones that eat horns. So they have a very specially adapted digestive system that enables them to break up keratin. We're going to cross to James, who's still with those hyenas who have found something or stolen something from somewhere.
Hello everyone, there's got something there that they're playing with. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Perhaps, I think it looks a bit ropey to be part of the buffalo carcass that Brent is sitting with. But they are playing around with a piece of skin of some sort, and obviously tussling. And they're getting a bit bored, I think. That's what's going on here. You can see the dust. And that's a youngster that found something to play with. I don't think it's from the buffalo carcass. I suspect you'll find that they haven't actually managed to have any of that buffalo. The other chance, of course, the other possibility is that they killed the buffalo and the noise attracted the lions. Now, what is very important for people to realize is that hyenas are exceptional hunters. They do scavenge if they can, of course, but lions in many areas scavenge even more than hyenas do. And so it's possible, I don't think it's likely, but it's certainly possible that the hyenas killed that buffalo and the lions then stole it from them. And that would, I mean, these hyenas don't look like they've eaten. You can see their faces, unlike the lions, are not covered in blood. And so eventually I think these chaps are probably going to get bored and move off. They'll melt into the bush. Now that Tsalala is taking a little bit of a hammering. And there's a very, very strict dominance hierarchy in these clans. It's matrilineal, which means that it runs from the dominant female or matriarch, and her offspring will immediately inherit her status. And the status of lower ranking females who give birth will likewise be determined by the status of their mothers. It's a bit like the British royal family. Not so, Andrew?
Correct.
That's not to compare the British royal family with hyenas, though. That's not what I meant at all.
Naughty, naughty.
Yes, I'm in no way comparing Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II with the hyena matriarch. I think that would be that would be a far stretch. Yes, I think we'll leave that comparison out next time round, Andrew. We have all sorts of people complaining about my anti-royal stance, which I don't have. All right, before I dig myself into an either greater hole, I think let's go straight back to Brent so that I can reconsider my analogies. We'll head back to Brent and see you just now.
And you can see there's that young male using the carcass as a pillow. There's very little left of this buffalo carcass at the moment. And you can have a look at that belly, look at that shallow panting, it's so full. And Donna said that it looks like that lion is said it's a glutton lion and can hardly breathe. There we can see that tailless lioness, you can see the missing tail, and as far as I know that was from hyenas, so she obviously has quite a distinct dislike of hyenas. And very strangely, her grandmother was a lioness we used to see when I worked in the southern section of the Sabi Sands, who we used to call the tailless female, and she was almost the sort of mother of, or the original Tsalala pride. We started seeing the Tsalala pride originally, when I started, it was one tailless lioness and her two sub-adults, and it has grown into a massive pride since then, so big that they actually had to split. So we've got the Mungen, or the Tsalala breakaways, and then the main Tsalala pride. And of course, this is not a pride we've actually seen very often before, and they are historically very far north of their home range and where they spent most of their time. And obviously with all this commotion with the Birminghams coming in going on, it's displaced lions from all over the place. So the Matimba males were pushed way down south into what is the Tsalala territory. So with them going all the way there, it's pushed these lions to the north, and they're sort of in no man's land at the moment between different groups of male lions. The Salati males, Manuleti, and to the north of us here. I just heard over the radio that they are... Oh! You can't help it. It's mine. I'm too fat to eat, but you can't take it away. I'm just going to lie on it. Sorry, and I just heard on the radio that there's 2 Birmingham males to the east of us. And also another pride of lions have been found to the north of us called the Talamati pride. They've killed 2 buffalo. And the Nkuhumas were seen yesterday, but they headed east. Actually, I'll just ask Taxon, who's here. Did you see the Nkuhumas yesterday?
Yes.
All of them? Kaimans all together? 5. So was the young Madonna there?
No.
Okay, so very interesting. So Taxon saw the Nkuhumas yesterday, but minus Junior. So he saw the 5 lionesses and no Junior. I wonder if Junior has been chased off or was just lurking somewhere behind. And we know he's a little bit lazy, like most male lions. But I will keep my ear open to see if we get another update on what could be happening there, and if anyone does find the Nkuhumas later on this sunrise safari. So we're going to cross back to James quickly, who's with those hyenas.
Hello everyone, the hyenas are moving further into Buffels Hook, so we just thought we'd have a quick look here. They got up and suddenly started running to the north. We don't know why. We can't see exactly what they're chasing, but they're now doing as I predicted, which is unusual. My prediction skills are not very good. I normally end up with egg on my face, but they're now melting gently into the bush. And I suspect that they've decided that discretion in this particular instance is going to constitute the better part of valor, and that just means that should they wish to attack those lions, that come off very second best at this stage. Okay, so we'll probably head on to roundabout where Brent is, have a quick look there, and then head off and see what else we can see. I think the hyena action for the moment is probably over. Yeah, they're going into the bush there, you can see. So special to see this level of hyena interaction, I must say. I really find these animals absolutely fascinating, and I'm sad we don't get more time with them. They don't, it's so interesting, when they're little and young they become extremely confiding around the vehicles. They don't worry about the cars at all, and they seem to lose that as they get older. They don't like it when you follow them through the bush. You know, you can make quite a lot of noise behind a lion or a leopard in the bush, and they just carry on going. Same with wild dogs, but the hyenas, not so much. Oh, here we go. They seem to be coming. Something has definitely got them very excited. It's probably just the prospect of a good breakfast. And they will need to be pretty careful about about making too big a noise, which might attract a larger clan into the area. But I think they're pretty much in the middle of their territory, so they should be okay. So they're probably, from this vehicle now, I'd say they are probably about 150 meters or so to the north of us. And that in feet is about 330 plus 100, so say 500 feet. And getting that, you know, they don't want to be out in the open too much, so they'll probably head into the bush. Barbara, thank you for your comment. Apparently my my passport has been black flagged by the UK passport office because of my comparison with well, it was an unintentional comparison of the hyenas with the royal family. Of course, that is all I meant there was that you know, much like the royal family inherits their parents' status, so it is with the hyenas, and it is not like that, of course, with the lions. Hyenas, or the elephants, who also live in a matrilineal society with a matriarch. This seems to be the only one out here where that is the case. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I've dug myself a big deep enough pit as it is. It's a nice cool morning. I don't think it's going to get too hot today. This cloud may burn off later on, and then the heat that we've experienced over the last week, which could be roughly approximated to that at the center of a star, will perhaps give us some respite today. Right. Let's go and have a look at the last remaining lion at the carcass with Brent. As I said, they do get themselves full and then they'll lie about like very corpulent, I don't know what they're, corpulent somethings. I nearly said something else royal, and I'm not going to say that. Right, we'll go across to Brent and I'll see you just now.
Look at that, the gluttonous male is trying to eat, but it almost looks more like he's playing with his food. He's so full. I'm going to eat, I can't. So I'm just going to drag the carcass around. Okay, he's moved it about 3 times now without actually feeding on anything. Well, Charlie says, this looks like my family after Thanksgiving pig out. Yes, they definitely have overindulged. I mean, it's ridiculous, using 3 buffaloes in 3 days. most of the buffaloes they have been killing have been young calves though, so they haven't been big adult buffalo. So, but even then, it's no easy feat, and they are very full. And I'm going to pull it around again. So as you see, I'm moving the carcass. Earlier, one of the young lionesses was trying to drag the carcass, and this fat boy just lay on it and refused to let her move it. And Arcadio said that had her in hysterics. So they are such interesting animals. He doesn't really seem to know what to do. He knows he doesn't want to leave it in case someone else comes near it, but he definitely can't physically eat anymore. Now I'm just going to lie down on another lion. But there's not that much of the carcass left, but there's still definitely enough to keep them around. Let's reposition quickly and go have a look at those other lions lying on the road. What a great way to start the morning. As we get going, Brian and I were heading down the boundary, and James had said it looked like there were tracks of a herd of buffalo, so we came to have a look. And I even said to Brian, yes, wouldn't it be nice if there were lions behind that herd of buffalo? And just over there we saw the tracks of the buffalo crossing, and I was like, well, there you go, the buffalo. And then up into the road we saw this hyena run with his tail up, full of excitement, and that made me behave like a hyena, tail up, full of excitement, and I shot down the road as fast as possible. And when we arrived, the hyenas were actually mobbing one of the lionesses, so really interesting behavior here. Just judging from that behavior, and you can see they sort of worked out that it wasn't worth, the odds weren't exactly in their favor, so they moved off and decided not to try. Oof, smelly lions. They moved off and decided not to try take the carcass. And as a general rule, it's obviously nothing is ever 100% for fact in the bush. But as a general, hyenas prefer to be 3 to 1. So for every lion, they prefer to have 3 hyenas. And in this case, it was pretty even. Oh, look at that one at the back there. Where are my binoculars? Does it look like a wound at the base of his tail? So you guys did say it looked like the last time you saw them, some of them were carrying a few wounds. And there looks to be a wound. I'm just going to grab my binoculars so I can have a bit of a closer look. So you can see it looks like a gash, probably from a bite, and from what I've heard, that I wonder who has been chasing him. Was it the Birminghams? Was it the Matimbas? I think you probably found that these young males were sired under the Majingalan coalition down to the south of us, and apparently one of these young boys had a large chunk missing out of his flank the last time we saw them. But as I said, I haven't seen that injury yet. We are missing one. There were 4 young males earlier, Brian, and now we've only got 3 here. I'm sure he's fat and flatulent, lying somewhere close by. He might have headed down to the dam behind us for a drink. What do you spot it? What is it spotted? I think it's the hyenas in the distance. That he spotted. See, these lions are probably going to do very little moving from here. It might move down to the water, have a drink. When across to James, we just come across those other lions who I didn't know who they were, just beyond us. So we're going to cross to James quickly and see if we can figure out which lions those are.
Skittish. I'll do it when we arrive. Hi everyone. We're just with 3 lionesses, the 3 that we originally saw here, and they're obviously very scared of the Tsalala pride off to our left-hand side, the left-hand side of your picture. And as we drove up, they actually got up and moved. They're very nervous of the vehicle as well, and that is of course, if you've been watching for a while, you know that lions are normally extremely confiding with the vehicles. They hardly react to us at all, and this is very unusual. I don't know what's going on here. She's panting, you can see, so she's obviously been eating, but maybe the 3 of them took the buffalo down and had it scavenged from them by the hyenas and those other lions. But they're definitely very skittish of the other lions. They can't be part of the same pride. I'm going to try and sneak forward and show you the other 2 as well. What I'm going to do is reverse very slowly back and just edge off-road here, because she is nervous. You'll see as soon as I start the car with my fat head out of the way, you'll see that she immediately does react a little bit. We'll just be a little bit careful. Move there gently to the side. So that they don't react, and there you can see all 3 of them now. Andrew, I'm just going to go a little bit further forward. There we go. They've definitely eaten a lot. Is that alright for you, Andrew?
Perfect.
So I suspect, and I'll talk about this with Brent Leo Smith, or perhaps it will be relayed to him and he can tell you if he thinks this is possible, that these 3, I don't know if it's an adult buffalo carcass or not, but maybe these 3 killed it and had it stolen by the Tsalala pride and possibly those hyenas, even maybe those hyenas first. But sometime during the night there was a great upheaval here, and it didn't end very well for that poor buffalo. And the buffalo, of course, have been taking what can only be described as a horrible pasting over the last few days. The Birminghams between them, along with the Tsalalas, have killed more than 10 buffalo in the last 7 days. Now that is a huge amount of meat. So the lions here are not struggling for food at the moment. And as Andrew pointed out to me earlier today, he said, do you think this has got something to do with the drought? Well, we're not really in a drought so much as we are in a time of, it's pretty normal weather conditions and water conditions for this time of year. But certainly the dryness may well be having an effect, because the buffalo will be slightly weakened and they also will have to go to water in a very predictable manner. And so the lions will quickly learn how to pick them off. Now an interesting thought from Acadia and Blair and a few others, thank you for that. You say that you reckon that this is the Styx lioness who had the cubs. Now that is possible. I definitely didn't spend enough time with her to know what her distinctive markings are, but I know they have been around here. The only thing that would make me question that, Acadia and Blair, would be the fact that she seems to be a bit nervous of the vehicles. But that could also simply be a function of the fact that she has had a rough night of being stolen from. Now look how pink her nose is. She's not an old lioness, you know. You can see from her face that she's been smacked about a bit. But yeah, I don't know that that pink nose indicates that she's much younger than 6. She's probably only about 3. Kuna tingala kwaran. Tingwanyane tile. Tija. Yeah. Tija nyar. Right, so just another game drive, and of course, as many of you know, we do share this reserve with a number of safari operators, and this is from Simbambili, which is the reserve actually that those lions are lying on. They're lying on a reserve called Simbambili. We're right in the northeastern corner of Djuma. So, people, let's have a look and try and remember, those of you who are experienced at this, the Tsalala, or not the Tsalala, the Styx lioness who had the cubs, did she have a nose that pink? I seem to remember her being a bit older than that. This lioness is no more than 3 years old, I don't think. And I think that this Styx lioness was a bit older, I think, but I might be wrong. Whatever. Tsalala. Tsalala lil tile. Inquatu le. Yeah. T7. 6. Okay. Okay. 3. So we're just discussing here. What? Yeah, 6. 6. 6 yati 6 ya vavanuna. 3 ya vavanuna, 3 ya vavansati. Le. Okay. All right. Andivonanga ya Brentiko. Okay. Okay. So we're just discussing who these lions could possibly be. Guide from some some elephants screaming off to the south of us, very cross with each other. And they make a sound a bit like that out of the Jurassic Park movies. I don't know if you've seen them, but the sounds that those dinosaurs made are often modeled on some of the screams that elephants make. It's a very primal sound, and they're obviously very upset about something just to the south of us. So there's definitely no consensus from the guide there as to who these chaps are. I think it's all rather fascinating.
Is that a sub-adult male, the second one there?
Now, that's a good question, Andrew. I don't think so. Oh, because he's quite hairy around the face. But that might be just the fact that he's matted. You know, he's got that matted hair from the blood. But it's possible. So Andrew's just saying, is that not a sub-adult male in the middle? Certainly not an initial looking, but it could be. Let's see if it lifts its head. No, maybe they're not as nervous as I thought they were. It might have been just the fact that we came around the corner and surprised them. So the one at the back is definitely a lioness. So Ashley, welcome, you're a new viewer, wonderful to have you along, and interesting question, a good one and a common one. How old do lions get? Actually, lions in this particular area probably don't normally live much more than 10 years old, you know. Life is tough out here for a lion, and they potentially could live up to maybe 15 or 16 in captivity, possibly up to 20. But out here, 10 to 12 is about the average, and that's because, you know, as soon as they start to lose condition, they fail to be able to hunt, and the pride is not an egalitarian society. What that means is that they don't kind of look after each other like human beings do, or like elephants do, or wild dogs. If you can't keep up with the pride, or you get sick, or you get injured, the pride will just leave you alone. And that's That's why they don't often survive. Once they start to lose body condition at about 9 years old, up to 12, then they normally die quite quickly after that. And certainly in this area, I think the record aged lion was about 16. That was a big male, but in a coalition of males, strong coalition of males, and without much competition. So without competition, they'll live a bit longer, but at the moment you can see there's a lot of competition. These two sort of prides, there's a pride off obviously to my right hand side, your left hand side of screen, and this pride here. So quite interesting, lots of competition. I think you'll find that longevity here will be no more than 10 to 12 years. Good one, thank you for that, Ashley. We're going quickly across to Brent. He's got something interesting to show you. See you just now.
Hyenas are coming back in. Sorry guys, welcome back. The hyenas just made an attempt to come in, and that tailless lioness was off in a flash, and now we can see her scent marking. I can see 2, 3, 4 hyenas that are back. There's 2 quite close to her. Look at, she might take a run at them. So they left that carcass. They were lying in the road, and the hyenas tried to just sneak in. And as I said, I think this lioness, to the fact she lost her tail to hyenas, is very, very aggressive when it comes to them. So now she's lying between them and the carcass. And that young male who had a gash under his tail is also making his way back. So, as I said, one of the hyena's greatest attributes and why they're such a successful animal is their patience and the ability to exercise that sort of half gap if someone's not paying attention. And hyena's so strong, they would have been able to grab that carcass and probably run off with it quite a distance if the lions hadn't been being vigilant. You can see the young male has now moved the carcass deeper into the trees there. I'm trying to have a look if there's any more hyenas are coming back. I can see 2, 3, still just 4, but there could be some more where I can't see. How many can you see, Brian? 4. Okay, so we're seeing the same 4 on the move again. I mean, these hyenas are just beyond that lioness, probably 10 meters. So the hyenas have come to the conclusion that there's not enough of them to outright chase off the lions, so they're taking the opportunity to try sneak in and maybe grab that carcass while the lions are flat and flatulent. Oof, it's tired. And you can see, look at that, see, sneaky Howard. So I'm sure a few of you wonder why I call hyenas Howard. So, oh, well, just give me a second, sorry. Brian and I are downwind of 5 flatulent lions. Oh, wait, there's something about to happen. That hyena is going to try to sneak around the back, and you might find I'm getting quite close to the carcass. You can see that lioness's ears going flat. I wasn't going to take it, I was just having a look. Yeah, now this is where hyenas become quite clever. See, now attention's been drawn to that one. Another two come in. There we go. Get out of here, hyena. But see, now there's a gap. There's a gap. Come back out quickly, Brian. The other hyenas are going to try. See, that's how they are. They work as a team. So now the other lionesses are up, and so there was a definite test there. Yeah, we're going to check. We're going to get attention. We're going to get you to be chased. You chase the one hyena, and then the other two we're going to just try sneak in. Come back and help to the left. Now the young Tsalala lioness. There we go. She just walked towards that hyena, and now she's tiny chance to just get in there and grab the carcass and run off with it, because lions this fat are not going to be able to run and chase them for that far. They're only going to do that sort of initial 40-50 meters, and hyenas, if they can get that carcass and run 100-200 meters, the lions are going to struggle to keep up with them over a long distance, and they can carry that carcass. So I was just saying, I call most hyenas Howard, and there's a couple of reasons. There's the fact that they are both, oh, there we go, tail up. The standoff. You can see that the hyena is not too perturbed, that patience. Just looking, just testing, looking for a little chink in the lion's defense of that carcass to be able to rush in and steal it. You can see the lions have now repositioned. There's two at the carcass and one between the only visible hyena at the moment in the carcass. Oh, more hyenas coming in. So there's now 5. These 2 on this side of the carcass and another 2 on the other. And I think we might get let's see what happens. Oh, you can see there's another hyena behind, so there's actually now 6. So, I mean, we're sitting here with an incredible amount of apex predators around us. We've got, that we can just see now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lions, 6 hyenas, and obviously such a large amount of apex predators requires a lot of food. And Lulu Fire, who might be a new viewer and new to asking questions, welcome Lulu. Lulu's wondering, is there enough food to support all these lions and hyenas and the other predators in this area? Lulu, fortunately yes. This is a really, really incredible area in terms when it comes to predators and prey. We're part of a 4 million acre open system. There's no fences between us and the Kruger National Park and the other private reserves around here. So yes, there is, and this is why this area is so fantastic for predators. Hyenas circling at a distance though, after that tailless lioness gave a good account of herself chasing that one interloper. There you can see the wound a bit better, the base of the tail, the chunk out, and it might look like a very bad wound to us as human beings, but to a lion that's a very minor wound, and that should heal without any problem. It doesn't look like it's infected. There we go. hyenas all around. Incredible patience. So there's about 6 hyenas now around these 7 lions, and then there are those other 3 lions that are lying up not too far, the ones that James was about 30 meters from us. So, while it seems like the hyenas have lost this first foray, and I think it'll be a while before they attempt another one, we're going to cross across to James to check in with those other lions. Really wonder who they are, but hopefully James can shed some more light, and I'll be fascinated to hear.
Hi everybody, so I've come back to the 3 lionesses after we went off to see what was going on with the hyenas as they came up towards what we now are pretty sure is the Tsalala pride with Brent. Now who these 3 are is a matter of some conjecture, and the Simbambili ranger who's just left has reckoned that these are possibly the 3 members of the Nkahuma pride. I'm not sure that he is correct. And then Acadia, your guess that they might be the 3 Shimungwes, which are a small pride of 3 pink noses, so they are all quite young. And then a comment from Blair that all 5 Nkahuma's lionesses were together yesterday without Junior. And Junior's a now 3.5-year-old sub-adult male, and we don't know really where he is or what's going to happen to him. So Blair, I think given that, and given that these are all pink-nosed lionesses, young ones and a bit nervous, I am going to suggest that these are the Shimungwes, and that they made the kill last night, that they were chased off by the Tsalala pride and the hyenas, possibly by the hyenas first, and then the Tsalala pride. And they, because you can see that they have eaten a huge amount, they're all panting and very fat, and it was quite, I mean, I don't know if that buffalo was a sub-adult or not, I think probably it was, and these 3 managed to take it out. Interesting times for the lions. It's interesting. Acadia says that there is a distinctive scar running from the eye to the nose on the Styx female who had the cubs. I have looked at all of these lions and I don't think that scar exists. Their muzzles are covered in flies at the moment, of course, and that's because their muzzles are covered in blood and gore from the kill, which makes an excellent breakfast if you happen to be a carrion-eating fly. Delicious. Right. Well, all very interesting. I don't think these lions are going to do a great deal for the rest of the day. So we'll sit here a little bit longer with them, see what happens, and then we'll forge ahead. There were some elephants calling, as I said, just to the south of us. Maybe we'll try and find them a bit later. What a magnificent start to this great morning. Okay, Brent will stay with the others as the hyenas make their sort of stealthy way towards the carcass and try and steal a little piece of breakfast for themselves, and we'll carry on. Enjoy.
So we can see the lines are still very flat. The hyenas have moved off slightly at the moment. They are just around, there we go, you might just pick up the movement of an ear or whatnot. And the hyenas just keep testing slightly. Don't think they're going to make too much of an effort now. I think they'll wait till the lions are really tired, maybe eat and full, maybe eat a little bit more. So I think it's going to be a fascinating sunset safari. See what happens here. And sort of high-fiving myself and high-fiving Brian at the moment, because this area where they've managed to catch this buffalo is somewhat of a Bermuda Triangle for us, and it's right at the corner of Djuma, and quite often we have the tracks of everything just crossing this tiny corner, and we're like, oh, lion track, oh, lion's gone, oh, leopard, oh, it's gone. So for once we're very, very happy, because the Bermuda Triangle, we've found the sunken ship or the missing aeroplane. Eventually so I know as all of you guys would love to spend a full 3 hours with us, but sometimes you can't due to what time it is where you are, or you're at work, or so Bren, who's just signed in, is just obviously, oh, what's going on, what's here, how many hyenas, how many lions? So we've got 7 Tsalala lions at the moment, and when we first arrived this morning there must have been 12 hyenas. That's the most I counted. There could have been a few more that I missed. At the moment they all moved off, went and did some greeting. James was following them, and while we stayed with the lions, at the moment there's probably about 5 or 6 hyenas around the periphery. And as I was saying earlier, normally hyenas sort of, it's always never an exact science, but on average we're like a 3-on-1 combination. So for every lion that's present, and that's young male lions and female lions. If there was an adult male here, these hyenas would be far away. They have a very, very healthy and respect for big male lions, and big male lions have a very strong distaste for hyenas. But so there's probably, as I said, 6 hyenas, and they're just moving. They tried to attempt quite a sneaky and quite a clever attempt. But one hyena distracted the lioness, who charged off after her into the distance, and another 2 hyenas tried to sort of sneak in on the peripheries and grab the carcass, but fortunately for the lions, they were aware and up to the challenge. There's a hyena now. They're just walking around the edge, probably from about 20 to 30 meters away from the lions, just looking for that tiniest little gap. But so, Bren, when we arrived this morning, James asked me to check our northern boundary. He said there were tracks of a herd of buffalo heading that direction, and James was initially off to Arathusa, and I just said to Brian, look, buffalo tracks crossing, they've crossed out of our area, let's go to Buffalo Dam, or we're trying to decide where to go next. And as we were doing that, I suddenly just saw this hyena bolt across the road with its tail up, and I said to Brian, there's got to be something really exciting there. And then we suddenly saw there were more hyenas, and they were actually mobbing the lionesses. And I think the lioness had gone down for a drink at the waterhole, and the hyenas had found them. So there's about 12 hyenas mobbing, and that's that lowing, that ooh, and that excited, maniacal giggling. And we moved in a bit closer, and we suddenly saw there were other lions, and we saw there was a carcass. But even more interesting, there were another 3 lions, and I think James thinks it's possibly the Shimungwe pride. I haven't seen them, and they're not very far from us. So they were watching this from about 100 meters away, and then some of these lions moved off towards them, and then they moved off. So really, really interesting. behavior that's going on at the moment, and I'm sure for these lions, I'm hoping for their sake that the Birminghams haven't heard this commotion, because this is literally something that would bring those males right into this area. 2 of them have been found, but quite far to the east of us, and that means there are 3 still out there lurking, or lurking is probably the wrong word, I would say skulking, sneaking, looking for males to fight or females to dominate. And this pride was within about 300 meters of them last night. Oh, let's see if we can grab him before he disappears. Don't fly away. But just, it's, even while you're sitting with lions, there's lots around, and you see there's a little crested barbet. He just hopped behind the branch. You can hear that. There he is. Calling with the joy of morning. Not being very cooperative. There we go. That's, well, not quite. Go on, show yourself, Barbet. So back to that update. So in total, there's 10 lions within 100 meters of us, but 7 that are probably Tsalala, and 3 maybe Shimungwes, but we're not 100% sure. And while the lions doze, the crested barbet is calling on the silver cluster leaf or terminalia tree to the right of us. Oh, that was kind. He's come even closer.